Over the weekend, I went to the cinema to watch Sinners. This is a film by Ryan Coogler, who has previously directed films like Black Panther and Creed. Ryan also wrote and co-produced Sinners, so it really is his masterpiece. When I was watching this film, I couldn't help but think you really do have to be so talented and so creative to be able to create a film like this. This wasn't just a regular cinema trip, it really felt like more of a experience because this film just has so much dimension. Identical twins Smoke and Stack head back to their hometown after being away for many years. They plan on hosting an opening party for their new juke joint for the local black community. After gathering supplies from local businesses, recruiting some people and spreading the word, they head to their new property that they actually purchased off of a racist landowner using money that they stole from gangsters. Their talented cousin Sammy also tags along to play some blues music. He plays the guitar and also sings. He tags along despite his religious father's warnings not to. The party is a raging success until some unexpected strangers turn up looking for trouble in the midst of things. The chemistry and relationships between the characters really had so much depth. We do get a bit of backstory. It more focuses on interactions, conversations and relationships between characters. That's kind of how we get to know the characters rather than just showing us backstory. It is all through these interactions. We do have about an hour before the film picks up on some more horror elements. The time before this, we do get to see a real insight on the characters. We see some really deep connections, especially through family members, which not only had me interested in the story, but it also made me emotionally invested quite early on. One of the biggest themes in this film is music. The whole plot and the whole film really is centered around music and the culture of music throughout time, especially blues music, although we do get to see lots of different types of music. The score and this soundtrack intertwine with each other so well. There are a few moments where the characters play music and sing, not in a breaking the third wall kind of thing like in a standard musical. The music does fit in very naturally. This film is set in 1932 and is actually set over the course of one day and night. We see the setup in the day for this big party, and then as it moves into night, we see the terrifying events that happen. Although it is only set over a short period of time, we do really get to see a much bigger picture through really good storytelling, and especially through one particular scene that really takes you on a journey, but I don't want to give too much away. This film delves into deep themes of the history of black music and the power within the culture of black music. Of course, like many films, so much is left up to interpretation. This is definitely one that will have you thinking. I do think it is one that really needs more than one watch. I've only seen it once and I just feel like there is so much more that I want to think about and explore with this film. I'm not getting into any spoilers today, but if you are interested in maybe some more of my thoughts and some more deeper meanings for this film, then I could always do a deep dive. I really love looking into films, looking into different meanings, different interpretations, so maybe I could do something like that after I've had a few more watches. Sinners is very genre bending, with it starting off being more of a crime drama and then it moving more into a horror action after the halfway mark. Michael B. Jordan actually played two leading roles of Smoke and Stack, the identical twins. I wasn't actually expecting this at all because I had been avoiding the trailers and avoiding a lot of marketing, so I was really surprised to see him in a dual role. I really like when actors play dual roles in films. I think it's really impressive because obviously they're doing double the work than they would usually be doing. The twins are actually veterans that fought in World War I. It's really interesting seeing the twins interact with each other because of course they're played by the same person, and I feel like this could have gone one of two ways. It either could have been really weird and looked really out of place, or it could have gone the way it did go and actually work seamlessly in the film. Miles Caton plays Sammy and he really is the star of the show, giving such an incredible and emotional performance. Everyone did an incredible job in this film. The cast and also the crew who worked on it, you can really tell how much passion went into this project. There were actually one or two really creepy jump scares which I really appreciated as a horror fan, and there was also a decent amount of gore. A mix of CGI and practical effects are used for this film. The more close-up and intimate scenes are where we see most of the practical effects, and the bigger scale scenes are the ones using CGI. A lot of the scenes that do use CGI, I think it would be really hard to replicate using practical effects because of what some of the CGI is. I know I always say I'm not a massive fan of CGI, and I'm not. I definitely, of course, in my perfect world would love this to just be practical effects, but I do kind of understand in this case that it probably wouldn't always be feasible, especially with some of the effects. The cinematography is incredible. It is such a beautiful film visually, with the shots, the set design and the colour grading. I really liked the use of warm tones and warm lighting. Inside the juke joint whilst the party was going on, all of the lights have a really warm tone, and then also shots outside with the massive orange warm sun, and then also some scenes lit up by fire. I know of course not everybody cares about the lighting, but for me that is just something that was a real standout. The runtime is 2 hours and 20 minutes. That did go quite fast. The pacing felt just right with the perfect amount of setup before they get into the action. Do make sure that you stay seated after the film because there is a long mid-credit scene. It is quite an important scene as well. It kind of just brings everything together, and to be honest is one of my favourite scenes in the film. As I said earlier, this really is a film that does need more than one watch. It's obviously a little bit longer than some films, but it is absolutely jam-packed with loads of stuff going on, so it is a little bit overwhelming trying to gather all of my thoughts after just my first watch. One thing that I didn't love so much about this film was the marketing, but I'm going to get to that more at the end when I do a little bit of a rant. But my final thoughts are that I really did love this film. I did find it such a good experience to watch it at the cinema, so I think if you can get down to the cinema to watch it, then it is definitely worth it. I do still think this will be a good watch at home, but I do think that it won't have such a big impact, and also maybe some of the slower scenes won't be as engaging at home as they are in the cinema. At the moment it is definitely one of my favourite horror films of 2025 so far. Not that we've actually had that many amazing ones yet, but I definitely can see this film staying in my top films for the year because of how good of an experience it was. I am so pleased to see it get a good reception and some really good reviews online. So yeah, definitely go and support this film. Go and support Ryan Coogler's amazing project and everybody else that worked on this film to make it what it is. I'm going to end this video with a little bit of a rant, so feel free to leave now if you're not interested in that. I'm still not going to go into spoilers. I am just going to have a little bit of a moan. I've always been someone who does watch film trailers because I find them really exciting and they usually get me quite hyped for a film, although especially horror films are notorious for showing too much in the trailers, but I just feel like it's got so much worse recently, especially because we are getting a lot more films that have tone shifts and plot twists kind of in the middle of the film. For this film I actually successfully avoided so much about it. I really didn't have much of a clue what it was about until one day before I went to the cinema. I just went on Instagram and Letterboxd. This was literally the day it came out, and I saw so many people post unavoidable spoilers, which was very annoying because I was so close. But now I have actually seen the film, I'm following a bit more of the marketing and things about this film, and for some reason they've started posting kind of spoilery things in the marketing, which I just feel like is so unnecessary because I really do think it just takes away from someone's experience. Of course, let people know the genre of the film and the kind of feel to the film, but some things are just so much more fun to figure out for yourself. Companion, that came out earlier this year, is the reason why I haven't watched any other trailers. It annoyed me so much that the trailer, the poster, everything for that film gave away such a big moment that is so fun to uncover yourself. Even if you work it out beforehand, even if there are little hints in the film, it still really does change the overall experience. Anyway, I'm going to stop going on and I'm going to leave it there. Let me know if you've seen this film, let me know your thoughts and feelings, and I'll see you again in another one soon.